Hey everyone, happy Thursday and welcome to another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So today came into the shop a little bit late. I think I was here by about 8. Started the morning running over to Sean Gear's shop. He is supposed to be having me a new cam made for the number 37 autocross car. I blew the lifters up and destroyed the cam last year autocrossing. So I just stopped to talk to him and ended up chatting with him for a while and checking out some builds they're doing over there. So top-notch guy and top-notch work that Sean and team do over there. So yeah, I came in a little bit late and then followed up with some potential customers on whether they were wanting to bring their projects in right now and stuff like that. So lots of texts and emails and stuff like that. And then spent a while moving some cars around. So the motor for this car, for the 67 Beetle, is pretty much ready to go in it. I'm happy with how it's running here on the test stand. There's not really anything else for me to do or check with it sitting up here. I broke the engine in already, changed the oil, adjust the valves, messed around with the carburetor a little bit. So I think it's pretty much ready to go. I haven't really noticed any oil leaks per se. Seems pretty good and dry, so I think it's ready to go in the car. So that being the case, the 67 was pretty much shoved in the corner while where the mouse gray bus is right now. So swapped these two cars, which pretty much entailed moving all the other cars out of the shop except the Barndoor, which isn't stationary right now. But yeah, moved everything out of the shop and basically swapped these two around. And this is actually in a good space now with lots of room around it to get the back of the car up and get the motor up in there. So I don't know if I'm going to do that tomorrow or maybe Saturday or hopefully at the latest Monday, which I know it's a holiday, but I'll be here anyway. So boo-hoo. Anyway, yeah, so that was kind of my morning, was getting all that going. And the Devil bus was very cooperative. It started up and drove it right out of the shop when I was moving things around. These two cars, which are ready to go, of course, also started right up. So yeah, it's looking kind of good. And this one should probably be leaving soon. I think Eddie at Eddie and Dave's garage may borrow it in the next day or so and do a video of it. He's going to help the owner sell it. So yeah, he'll be doing like a driving video and I guess, I don't know, walk around, stuff like that. So I will try and post a link or something when that happens. So what I worked on today that was much more fun than running errands and sending texts and stuff was starting in on the 1500cc 36 horse. Well, it's going to have a lot more than 36 horse, but it's a 36 horse engine originally. That is, of course, for the Barndoor. So I'm building this motor myself. A couple reasons. One is time-wise. We've been having Brian Roth build a lot of our motors, and he's pretty backed up now. We're still waiting on him actually to finish the 40 horse for the mouse gray back there in the corner. The Treffin is in a month, so I really need to light a fire under my own butt. Part of it was waiting. This stuff literally all just came in today from Brothers Machine Shop. So I'm like, you know what, let me hit the ground running on this and put it together. The other thing is it is a custom build, with the big crank and all this and that. So I wanted to do it myself, and I wanted to go kind of one step further with it, which is what I do on all my builds, and go ahead and blueprint all the bearings and stuff like that, just a detail that helps me sleep better at night when I put a motor together. So if you guys aren't familiar with blueprinting, basically what you're doing on the motor is it's really mostly related to the bearings, is you're checking the actual clearance or the space between the bearings and, like, say, the journals on the crank, to make sure that there's adequate space for the layer of oil in between those, but not too much space, because if the gap is too big, you end up with low oil pressure. If that gap is too small, then the oil can get hot or the bearing can even seize and so on. So really the most correct way to build a motor is to go ahead and blueprint all the bearings. And so that was pretty much what I spent my whole afternoon on here, and you can see my handwritten notes. So generally speaking, first thing that I do at least is to go ahead and measure the main journals on the crank, and so you can see those numbers written down there. These are of course in inches, so sorry for those of you that love millimeters. I just kind of used to thinking in inches, at least for these, so that's what I do. Because I know, for example, that the oil clearance should be about 3 thou. But anyway, so yeah, measure all those. So for that, I prefer to use this, which is a Meditoyo digital caliper. It goes down to half of a 10,000th of an inch, so quite accurate, quite precise. It comes with a little block that you calibrate it with at time of use, or you can kind of spot check it anytime. So this thing is dead nuts on. And then that's for measuring the OD. So for example, the main bearing journal. So here, 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 and then the other one up here, kind of near the snout. And then what you do is you use something called a dial bore gauge, which has this little plunger on it that you can hopefully see there. So that's a little plunger, and so when that gets pushed, it actuates the dial on this gauge here. And so what you do is you calibrate the distance between this fixed point here and the little plunger to a known value on a micrometer, and then you pretty much shove this thing into the bearings to where it's a like a snug fit, and you're engaging the reading on this thing, and then you write that number down. So that's what these numbers here represent, is the actual measurements of the bearing inside diameters. So what I should mention, I don't think I did, is basically you take the bearings and you put them in the case with nothing else in the case, and then you torque down. For the main bearings, you really just need to torque down all the main studs. So these 6 here plus the 2 up near the snout, pretty much just tighten those down. Those are really the ones that are defining how much the bearing is squeezed into the case. And then now you've got pretty much a straight shot through the case here. You can see the bearings there, and you can also kind of see the little I don't know, scuff marks, for lack of a better word, where the little anvil on the gauge kind of scrapes across the coating on the bearing, which doesn't hurt at all. That coating all comes off anyway eventually. But so pretty much you go and measure those. So what I do is I measure each bearing in at least 4 different locations, and I call them, so A, and then B, which is 45 degrees, C, which is another 45, and then D, which is another 45 yet. And then when you get to here, it's redundant because you're measuring a diameter. So A, B, C, D, and then pretty much write those down like you see here. So here's for bearing 1, A, B, C, D. You can take the average of them. You can look for if anything is kind of weird. These are all, lying pretty close to each other, so nothing too concerning here. Take the average of those essentially, and then compare it to its respective bearing. So in this case, the delta between those, or the oil clearance, is 3.1 thousandths of an inch. And likewise, bearing 2's 3.2 thou, bearing 3, basically 3 thou, and then bearing 4, 0028. So these are all great numbers. Usually we want to see around 2.5 or so. I get nervous if I start seeing anything down to about 2 thousandths. I also get nervous if I see anything much above 3.5, maybe 4, as far as like having too much clearance, because you can potentially have poor oil pressure when those gaps start getting too big. So, but anyway, the only way to really know this stuff is to go through all of this and measure both the crank itself and the bearings in the case when it's torqued down, and then you pretty much compare those numbers. And so this is basically the blueprint, is like all the dimensions essentially of the motor where it matters. So I will do the same thing next to the rod bearings once I install those. So I'll install the rod bearings, torque these down, not on the crank, and then pretty much do the same thing here. I'll set this thing up to measure this diameter. I'll go and measure that in a few different orientations, and then I'll compare that to their respective journals on the crank. Usually what I do with rods is I'll label them 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then, you know, that rod from that point forward, and it's also bearings I'll label. So bearing rod 1 will get a set of bearings. It'll be labeled 1. And then those will always be a pair that go on number 1 on the crank. Just to make sure that everything is known. There's no, you know, surprises. Like if one of these is, say, a little bit tight and you measure it with one bearing, and it's fine, but then you get another bearing that's maybe also a little tight or something, and then you kind of add those together, and now maybe it's a little bit too small. So usually I'll put things in pairs, and then they stay that way all the way through putting the motor together. And that way you know what you're getting. No second guessing, no guesstimating. It's all very measured and precise. So that's how we blueprint a motor. So that is what this thing is getting. Clyde Berg does have the heads. I dropped one of the cylinders off for him. He's going to open those up. And then as soon as I get the crank assembled with the rods, even just like in terms of mock-up, then I want to measure the deck height. And I'll show you guys all that stuff when I do it. But then Clyde and I can figure out what compression ratio we want to run, and he can do any cutting or whatever on the heads that need to be to achieve that. So yeah, fun. If you guys can't tell, I totally nerd out on engine building. Should probably do it more often because I really enjoy it. Typically I only build my own motors, but in this case I am building this special big bore, huge 36 horse for the Barndoor. But anyway, guys, that is it for today. So thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it as always, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.